Hi, I'm Pamela from Pamela's Patterns, and welcome to my studio. This is the proportion check for Pamela's Patterns number 114, the Pretty Peplum top. This top has a nice waistline and a flare peplum bottom. And the idea of this check is when you're making it for the first time, you want to make sure that the waistline is in a flattering place for you and that the peplum flare is right for your proportion as well. It's a very important step, and once you do it the first time, you won't have to repeat it because we'll adjust your pattern accordingly so that when you make it again, it will be perfect. To start this off, I've started to prepare my pattern. I've put my stay tapes at the shoulder and the neckline. I also created my keyhole, which is in the back neckline for this one. I put the sleeves in a flat construction and then attached the front peplum to the front top and the back peplum to the back top. That's all just basted in at this point because I want to make sure it's going to go in properly. Once I have that done, then I'm ready to put the side seams together and try it on. The proportion check is to ensure that everything is in the right spot for you. The first thing I'm going to check is where the waistline sits. This waistline looks best on most people if it is just slightly above the waist. My waist is right about here, just about even where this is now, and I'm wondering if it might not look a little bit better if the waistline was raised up a little. Just put my pin magnet on here. So I'll look in the mirror and just pinch up a little bit and put a couple of pins in. Just 3 or 4 pins across the front should do it, just so that I can see if a different level of the waistline would be more flattering. And actually, I think that will look a little bit better. It raises it up above my hips because my hips flare out and just kind of disguises that a little bit. And that's what you want to do, is look to see, try a couple of different things and see what looks the best. After I have that done, then I want to check the flare of the peplum. You don't want this to be sticking way out, and the peplum has a lot of flare to it, so you might be taking a little bit of it out. And so what you might want to do is just kind of pin in the sides a little bit, see if you like it better, if it's pinned in a little bit, getting rid of a little bit of the flare, and then also check the waist here. You want this to come fairly close to your body without being too snug or too tight. You want to still be able to move it, but if you don't have it close to your body, then you don't see any of the waist definition that you're looking for with this. So try and get it somewhat close to your body without actually showing any fluff or scallops. So just get it pinned in here. And I think on mine, I'll just take it in a tiny little bit at the waist, and maybe, I think about 3/4 of an inch in at the peplum bottom so that it doesn't flare out so much. And I could pin in some more if I wanted to, just to double check that. And you could even baste it in a second time to check it out. Now we're going to go to the cutting table. I'm going to show you how to adjust your pattern and the top. I marked where the pin marks were on my top on the sides, and also I took a 1/2 inch off of the top. Now if you look here, since I took that 1/2 inch off and shortened the top so it looked better on me, I also added a piece of the knit stay tape so that that stabilizes the seam, and stitch that back together. You can stitch it or serge it, either one. On the side, you'll see that I went in about 3/4 of an inch on the bottom of the peplum and marked my new stitching lines, easing it back up into the armhole of the top here. So then I will just serge or sew the whole side seam, and I'll be able to complete the top. Now I'm going to change the pattern. So on the front and the back, there are lengthen and shorten lines, and I have drawn a line a 1/2 inch above so that the next time I do this, it will be in the right spot. I'm going to cut on the bottom line. Move it to the top line and tape that down. Do the same thing to the front piece and it'll be ready for my next top. On the peplum, I went in about 3/4 of an inch on the bottom of the peplum and then just in a little bit at the waist and drew a new line. I'll cut that off, and now the pattern is ready for the next top with minimal adjustments.